Molweni bantu base-YouTube Center. Hello. Igama lami lingu-Assistant Sizwe Singwe and welcome back to my channel. As I had previously promised you guys that I would do a part 2 of the Get to Know Me. Today it will be really short. I actually didn't realize, I thought it would be much longer. I'm just answering a few more questions that I received from you guys that I thought needed me to sit and reflect, so that I wouldn't give you guys wishy-washy responses. So without wasting any time, let's get into it. So first up, somebody wanted me to touch on my life after losing both my parents. And when I was thinking about this, I realized that actually throughout our entire journey, you guys will get to receive pieces and bits and pieces of the aftermath of that throughout our journey. So I don't think I will focus much on it, but I'll just touch on it. And so basically my dad died when I was 5 turning 6 in 1998, and then my mom died 10 years later from breast cancer. So when the year that my mom died, I was actually doing grade 12, and it was in January. I think I had opened schools a week, and then schools had been open for about a week, and then on the second week she passed away. It was, as you guys could imagine, was such a tragic experience, because now we were faced with this reality of we are officially orphans. What now? And because I was in grade 12, it was a pivotal moment, a moment where I moved to varsity. And before my mom passed away, we had been talking about varsity, what do I want to do. Obviously I was crazy about psychology, I was very sure of that. So it broke a lot of dreams, and it shattered a lot of hope that I had for my siblings as well, but I won't speak for their behalf. Maybe one day they will address that with you guys. But yeah, so it has always been, it was very difficult at the time. And when I look back now, I am so grateful that I grew up in Gramada, which is Kofimbaba, because our community was a community of people who took the principle of helping each other and they took that very seriously. So as a result, on weeks or days when we didn't have food, there would be people who would randomly come, drop off cool beans, which is my mom's name. So we were well taken care of. The people tried their best to sort of like try be there for us in the manner that they could, because they knew and they understood the situation. So obviously being in grade 12 and we are late and having to come home to, I like to refer to it as a cold house, because it lacked the mother's love, the mother's presence, the parents' presence. So it was up to us to sort of create a home out of the household. So but we did it, my siblings and I, we did it. We were very intentional about giving each other tangible support, because emotional support is something that we didn't know how to do that. We couldn't even understand what emotional support is. So we were there for each other. We became really a tight unit, and we weathered the storm together. So, and then I was able to go to varsity, which was such a miracle. My sister took me out. In fact, okay, somebody actually asked me if I have siblings. I've got siblings. I've got 3 siblings. I've got an older sister who I refer to as Sispet, and then I have a brother who, in fact, isn't my biological brother, but but you know, in black families, once you live long enough in that home, you become part of that family. So I have a brother, and then it's me and my younger sister, Unat Mama Gamari. So yeah, as I was saying, Sister Umdala took me through varsity. Obviously I had NEFSAs, but all the other needs that I had financially, she would provide. And she did this through Imali Dips, because she worked as a waitress. And till this day, I am very intentional about giving and leaving a tip for waitresses and waiters, because I always imagine that behind every waitress and waiter there is who are associated behind it, people who've got responsibilities. There's people who are living the reality of being heads in their families and having children they didn't give birth to. So as a way of just supporting supporting other people's dreams, I do that. I'm very intentional about that. So I'm gonna highlight 2 places or 2 seasons, the woman Bam, where the lack of parents and a mother really was highlighted. Firstly, it was when during the process of getting married, from the lobola negotiations right until I walked down the aisle, it was very evident that I needed the mother's voice, the mother's wisdom, mother's support, and to be actually ushered into the new role, a new season of wifehood. And I'd seen my mom being makoti to her in-laws, and she did an exceptional job. And so I had a reference of what was expected, not necessarily by my in-laws, but what I had seen my mom model. But at the same time, her presence was something that I very much needed, and yeah, but at the same time, God was faithful to surround me with women who would try and fill that gap in the best way that they can. And at the same time, I have a very beautiful and strong tribe of friends around me who showed up. So God was faithful in that regard. And then second season, again, where I needed my mother again the most was when I became a mother, which was almost a year ago. Time flies. Motherhood again was a time in my life where I would have really loved to have her around, just for her to usher me again into the new season and role of being a mother. And my mother-in-law as well as my father-in-law, they were so incredible. They were here every day, cooking, cleaning, and making sure that I didn't feel that void, and they were playing the role of being grandparents times two, from filling in the gap of my parents, at the same time playing the role of being grandparents themselves, which I bless God for, and which was an incredible blessing for me. And till this day, they do, and they go above and beyond for umzukulwana wabo. So I'm really highly blessed, and yeah, but it's a reality that I live with. It's a, I wouldn't call it a struggle, but a reality that I live with every day of not having parents. It shows up in different ways, or it manifests itself in different ways. Sometimes I'm really proud of the person I've become because of their prayers, as well as because of the principles that they instilled. And then there's days where I'm just like, I want my mother. So yeah, it's a reality that I live with. Okay, and then the second question that I received was somebody asking me if I think it is good for Christians to read books. And my answer to that is definitely yes. And I just noted a few points here because I didn't want to forget. Books in general are good for your cognitive and mental stimulation, unlike staring in front of a screen all day. Books can serve as personal entertainment, and they also can be a way for you to learn and gain new information. And this, as a result, improves your brain function. In my reading career, I found that reading has helped me increase my vocabulary. It has helped me learn new expressions, and this is important specifically for me because I also write. So in a way, it has helped me improve my writing skill. I'm able to express myself in new words and new expressions, and so for that reason, I would encourage everyone to pick up the habit of reading. And also, reading helps you in terms of enhancing your imagination, because you stare at a bunch of words and it is up to you to create an image out of that to keep yourself entertained. Again, also improving your brain functioning and stimulating your cognitive and mental abilities. And not only that, I find that when you have to read, you have to find a space and read, and that requires you to find a peaceful space, a place that will give you tranquility. And in a way, I have found that when I do that, it gives me a sense of tranquility, and that I'm able to sort of deal with any feelings of anxiety or depression that I was experiencing at the moment, because it requires me to sort of spend time with myself, so, and my thoughts, and hear myself think and hear myself read. So definitely, I would really encourage everyone to start reading. You can start reading a small book and then take it from there. And specifically for Christians as well, is that sometimes I know that sometimes we struggle to read the Bible. So if you start reading random books or in books in general that may help you to transfer that skill of reading into reading your Bibles. And once you start reading your Bible, you get to know God more. You get to be encouraged more. You get to know yourself more, because God will start revealing who you are. And that will in turn improve and strengthen your relationship with God. So yeah, reading is good. And then question 3, someone was asking me what have I learned about being a wife as well as being a mother. And when I was thinking about this, I wanted something that would sort of in a way summarize for me what marriage is about as well. And I think when I got the revelation that my husband wasn't responsible for making me whole, for making me happy, and for fulfilling the need of being loved, that I needed to be able to be whole by myself and be able to be in love with myself and be able to be happy by myself. And so that when we come together, we are able to share the experiences and share our life and love on each other without the pressure and the burden of having to fulfill people's the other one's needs and be what they want you to be or be who they need you to be. It just makes marriage more enjoyable, and again, it removes the pressure, and so you just have fun, and you know that you're whole, and you know that you are happy, and then together you share that. So I think that has been the one thing that has been the foundation of what it means for me being a wife. And then motherhood, this one, it actually highlighted how much anxious I am, how much of an anxious person I am, because it amplified my anxiety. And so then after I became a mother, I was left with the reality that I needed a lot of healing, and do that while I'm being present and a loving mother as well as a wife to my husband. So it has been an incredible journey of growth and maturity. So yeah, and then I think the last question, somebody wanted to find out what lu'ago means and where it came from. Well, lu'ago means foundation, and a friend of mine, actually her cousin is lu'ago. They are from Botswana. Her name is Celeb. And when I heard the meaning of what lu'ago meant, it resonated with the dream that I have about my family. It resonated well with the intention and the principles and the dream that Liri and I wanted for our family. And it again resonated with the mandate that we're after for our marriage. And so foundation, we named her lu'ago, meaning God's foundation, because we wanted God to build using us, build his kingdom. And so it made sense that lu'ago would be the name to go for. And then we gave her a second name, Uzowi, which is the God kind of life, which again resonated with who we were, what our dreams and our visions were. And we were very intentional about giving a name that would have meaning and would again be sort of a building block for God to use for building his kingdom. So yeah, and that is it for questions. Thank you so much again. If you have any more questions, please don't hesitate to either send me an inbox or comment down below. Otherwise, goodbye guys. I hope you're staying safe, and yeah, bye.